In a galaxy where advanced alien civilizations dominated, humans were often underestimated. They were a young species, only recently taking their first steps into the stars, while others have been traversing the cosmos for millennia. Among the races, stories were whispered of great warriors and powerful leaders, but none were as feared or as mysterious as the legend of Baba Yaga, a name humans themselves barely knew. Baba Yaga was said to be a myth, a ghost ship that appeared from the darkest corners of space, hunting those who preyed on the weak. No one knew where it came from, and no one ever saw who piloted it. The stories painted a terrifying picture, a black, skeletal vessel with glowing red eyes that would materialize out of nowhere. It moved with the silence of death itself, and when it arrived, entire armadas would vanish without a trace. The ship was fast, its weapons devastating, and its strategy flawless. Pirates, slavers, and alien warlords alike trembled at the thought of crossing its path. On the distant planet of Therion, deep in uncharted space, a small human outpost had been struggling to survive. Harassed by marauding alien raiders for months, the colony was on the brink of destruction. The Therians, an insectoid race, were relentless. They saw the humans as weak, easy prey in this far-flung corner of the galaxy. Each raid stripped more resources from the colony, leaving the humans more desperate by the day. "There's no help coming," Colonel Anderson said grimly to his remaining troops, staring out at the wasteland that once held crops and hope. "We need to prepare for the final attack." But just as the human colony braced itself for its inevitable end, something strange happened. In the middle of the night, when the raiders were preparing their assault, a dark shape appeared in the sky. The few who looked up saw it Baba Yaga. The alien raiders, confident in their superiority, detected the ship but dismissed it as a malfunctioning craft or a small reconnaissance vessel. They had heard the legends, but to them, it was just thought a legend. They were not afraid of humans. They should have been. The Baba Yaga moved swiftly, its form sleek and menacing as it descended upon the raiders' fleet. Within moments, their ships began to fall. One by one, no one saw the weapons fired. It was as if they were being dismantled by an invisible force. Panic spread among the raiders as they tried to retreat, but it was too late. The Baba Yaga pursued them with relentless precision, cutting through their defenses like they were nothing more than leaves in the wind. Inside the human colony, Colonel Anderson and his troops watched in awe as the terrifying alien fleet that had tormented them for months was obliterated in a matter of minutes. No human pilot could possibly be that skilled, that ruthless. They thought. The humans sent out distress signals, trying to make contact with the ship that had saved them, but received no reply. The ship hovered in the sky for a brief moment, its glowing red eyes casting an eerie light over the colony below, and then, just as silently as it had arrived, it disappeared into the void. The raiders were gone, and the colony was safe, but the humans were left with more questions than answers. Who, or what, was behind the Baba Yaga? Was it a human ship, an alien protector, or something else entirely? In the aftermath, stories spread across the galaxy. The legend of Baba Yaga grew, but this time, humans were no longer seen as weak. They were seen as a species with hidden depths, one that could call upon a force so powerful that even the mightiest fleets fell before it. Some alien races believed Baba Yaga was a rogue AI. Others thought it was an ancient human warship from a forgotten era, and a few whispered that it was a vengeful human spirit, protecting its own. But one thing was certain: wherever there was injustice, wherever the weak were preyed upon, Baba Yaga would appear. And as the legend spread, humans found themselves no longer underestimated. They had a weapon, a protector in the shadows that struck fear into the hearts of those who sought to oppress them. The humans, resilient and unbowed, had sent a message to the galaxy. They were not to be trifled with. Baba Yaga would see to that. And somewhere, in the dark reaches of space, the ship waited, watching, ready to strike again. HFY, humanity. Yeah, stories often celebrate the strength, resilience, and ingenuity of humans. Baba Yaga in this context symbolizes humanity's hidden power, always ready to protect and surprise when least expected. The galaxy had grown quiet after the attack on the Therian raiders. No one dared approach the human colonies on the fringes of explored space, but whispers continued to spread in back alley bars and amongst mercenary crews. Baba Yaga was real. Yet despite its growing legend, No one had seen the ship since that night. Some believed it had retreated to wherever it came from, but others claimed it was still out there, lurking in the vast emptiness, waiting for its next target. The truth, as always, was more complicated. Deep in an undisclosed location, far from any recognized star systems, a hidden base buzzed with activity. Inside, an elite group of humans monitored everything: communications, fleet movements, and distress signals from across the galaxy. This was the heart of the Baba Yaga operation, and at its core was Captain Elena Volkov. Elena was a legend in her own right. Once a decorated pilot in the Earth Federation, she had disappeared after a mission gone wrong. Most thought she was dead, lost in a black hole incident that wiped out an entire squadron of ace pilots. But Elena had survived, and what she had found in the depths of space had changed her forever. The Baba Yaga was no ordinary ship. It wasn't of human origin, at least not entirely. It was ancient, a relic from a forgotten age, found drifting between star systems, abandoned and derelict. Elena had stumbled upon it by chance, or perhaps it had called to her. The ship's technology was unlike anything she'd ever seen. It had an AI that could interface directly with her mind, amplifying her instincts and reactions. It was fast, silent, and deadly. After months of repairs and learning how to control it, Elena had set out to use the ship's power to protect humanity from the dangers lurking in the void. "Captain, we've intercepted a signal," a voice crackled over the comms in the command center. Elena stood, her cold eyes scanning the data streaming across the screen. The signal was faint, encrypted, but familiar. It wasn't human, it was Zarnak. The Zarnak were a brutal species technologically superior to humanity and feared for their ruthlessness. For years, they had expanded their empire, enslaving weaker species and destroying entire civilizations in their path. Their latest target, a small, independent human mining colony in the Zarnak Empire's outer rim. Elena clenched her fist. The Baba Yaga had to intervene. The galaxy's most vicious predators had set their sights on innocent people, and she wasn't going to let it happen. On the outskirts of the Zarnak Empire, the mining colony was in chaos. Hundreds of humans, mostly workers and their families, scrambled to find shelter as the first wave of Zarnak ships descended from the sky. The Zarnak had no interest in negotiating. They bombarded the colony with precision, disabling its defenses within minutes. Inside the central control bunker, Governor Harris, the colony's leader, tried desperately to reach Earth for help, but the communication lines had been cut, and their few remaining ships were grounded. "We're not going to make it," Harris muttered, wiping the sweat from his brow. "We're sitting ducks." Suddenly, the room's lights flickered, and a new signal appeared on the monitor. Harris leaned in closer, disbelief flashing across his face. It was a ghost signal, one that every human had heard of but few believed in. "Baba Yaga," he whispered. The Zarnak fleet, confident in their dominance, prepared for their final strike on the colony. But just as the order was given to fire, space itself seemed to warp. Out of the darkness, a ship appeared. Not just any ship. The Baba Yaga sliced through space like a blade, emerging from its stealth mode. Its red eyes burned bright against the backdrop of stars. The Zarnak, momentarily stunned by the sudden appearance, quickly scrambled their fighters to engage. But it was too late. Elena was already inside their lines, weaving through their ships with impossible agility. The Baba Yaga's AI synced perfectly with her reflexes, making her an unstoppable force. She didn't need overwhelming firepower. Her strikes were precise. Each shot, each pulse of energy, dismantled the Zarnak ships as if they were nothing more than toys. "All units, retreat!" The Zarnak commander barked through the comms, but his order came too late. One by one, their vessels exploded in fiery bursts, debris scattering across the sky. Inside the colony's bunker, Harris and his team watched the battle unfold on their monitors. In stunned silence, they witnessed the annihilation of the most feared fleet in the galaxy, all at the hands of a single ship. The Baba Yaga moved like a ghost, and in minutes, the threat was gone. Back aboard the Baba Yaga, Elena stood in front of the viewing window, watching as the last remnants of the Zarnak ships disappeared from her radar. The AI's voice hummed softly in her mind. "Threat neutralized." For a moment, she felt a pang of emotion relief, perhaps, but it was fleeting. There were always more threats, always more battles, and as long as the galaxy remained full of dangers to humanity, the Baba Yaga would remain. "Let's move," she said, and the ship obeyed. Without a sound, the Baba Yaga disappeared into the stars once more, leaving nothing but silence and a lingering legend behind. The human colony was safe, for now, but the message was clear: humanity was no longer an easy target, and somewhere, in the darkest corners of the galaxy, Baba Yaga would be watching, ready to strike fear into the hearts of any who dared to threaten them again. As the legend of Baba Yaga continued to spread, humanity's enemies found themselves hesitating before making a move. They knew now that, lurking in the shadows, was a ship that would not allow injustice to stand, and as Elena Volkov guided her ghost ship through the stars, she knew her mission was far from over. The galaxy was vast, and its dangers were many, but humans, they had Baba Yaga, and that made them dangerous too.